So ESPN's Jeremy Fowler and Matt Bowen released a trade deadline article earlier today ranking the top players they could believe that could be traded before the NFL trade deadline. The Commanders have been linked to two players, and I feel like we should talk about these players, and I think they could be good fits in Washington, and I will give my opinion on them. So, hope you guys are having a great day. Make sure you click that like button, click that subscribe button. On the road to 3,000 subscribers, I cannot do without you. Hit the hype button as well if you can find that button. Still don't know what it does, but I'm sure it helps me out. Let's see how many hype points we can get on this video. So, Cam Taylor-Britt is the first trade candidate that they have listed for Washington, and they're not considering the fact that Cam Taylor-Britt made these comments before last year's Monday Night Football game, and I think this could be a good fit. Now, they write, Cam Taylor-Britt was a healthy scratch Thursday night against Pittsburgh, forcing him to contemplate his immediate future. DJ Turner and Dax Hill have emerged as the Bengals' primary corners. Taylor-Britt has shown flashes, but he needs to step up his 2026 free agency value, and he could use a fresh start. Perhaps the Bengals will give one to him. His former defensive coordinator is now coordinating the Colts defense, which they think he'd get traded to the Colts, which is depleted at corner. Taylor-Britt is only 26 years old, and he has traits that might entice some teams. So, he lists the Colts, Commanders, and Eagles as trade candidates, and let's start by talking about Cam Taylor-Britt, and then we'll get to the other trade candidate for Washington. Cam Taylor-Britt could be a good fit in Washington. Now, that's due to the fact that, obviously, we are depleted at corner. We need help at corner. We need anything that we can get at corner. I don't think Washington's solution would come from simply moving Mike Sammerstow outside, placing Noah Benogany on the inside at nickel cornerback, and benching Marshawn Lattimore. I think you're going to have to go outside and search for other players and other trades to make something happen. Now, we've been having the conversation for ever since the Cowboys lost. Should we be buyers or sellers at the deadline? I think that ESPN is suggesting we're obviously supposed to be buyers, right? ESPN says we're supposed to be buyers still. So they want Washington to go out there and make trades. Now, I don't know if we should be sellers. Payne, Coleman are the only guys that I see could be traded. I don't know if we should be sellers at the deadline. I think we should be buyers because I think this season still has some hope, but I'm not really leaning either which way. I'd rather just do nothing, right? Because the season is about to be over. I'd rather just do nothing. And if you're going to trade for a guy, excuse me, if you're going to trade for a guy, what trade value do you have? Like what draft capital do you have to trade for a guy? Our problem right now is we don't have enough draft capital for the draft, right? So you don't want to give more of that away. That's the problem. But for one of these guys that I'm going to list off to you, first one is Cam Taylor-Britt that I just talked about. You're not going to have to trade much for him. And if you want immediate help at corner, he can be a guy to do that. Again, he has a unique skill set, good movement skills, and he's not the best in the league, but he can provide some help when he comes in. A to Z Sports, Washington Commanders. Shout out to Josh Taylor. He writes that. Go check his article out. But I'm going to read to you some of his article. He's talking about this ESPN article that I'm getting right now. So Josh writes, Cam Taylor-Britt is the corner for the Cincinnati Bengals who called the Commanders' offense a college offense before they lost to Jaden Daniels and company in their own house, but he's still really talented. It could help the defense in a big way. Taylor-Britt is only 26 years old and needs a new home, and he doesn't fit the new scheme for the Bengals defense. He could be starting corner in place of Marshawn Lattimore, who is very likely gone after the season. I don't know the exact trade compensation it would take to get done, but a swap for Taylor-Britt and Noah Benogany makes sense. So he lists that Benogany, they could just straight up switch, right? And we heard right before the season, teams had interest in Benogany. Could the Bengals have been one of those teams? I heard a lot of teams had interest in Benogany, and when he's getting 3 snaps per game, why not trade him, right? And you wouldn't be giving up any draft compensation. So, listen, I think that this could be a good fit for the Commanders. Again, Taylor-Britt's not going to come in here and be great, but he can give you, he can put some talent, on this cornerback room and help you out immediately if you need immediate help, which the Washington Commanders do. If you want to save this season, well, you can try to get Taylor-Britt, and he could be here next year as well. We're going to need corners next year. It's not just a one-year thing. So could have Taylor-Britt here next year if we traded for him now. And you'd only be giving up Noah Benogany, you'd only be giving him up if Josh is right and they just make a pick swap. So, or a trade swap. So, The next trade candidate is Kyle Duggar. You'll notice a theme here. They're all secondary guys, all DBs. So safety Kyle Duggar is the next guy that ESPN has listed the Washington Commanders to go after. They write, the belief in league circles is that Duggar would have been dealt before week 1, but for his cost prohibitive $9.75 million salary, there was interest then and could be again. Now that New England is sitting at 5-2, perhaps it will revisit a potential deal. However, Duggar has played a combined 102 defensive snaps over the past 2 weeks due to an injury to starter Jalen Hawkins, which might change things. Duggar would be a quality third safety insurance for a team in contention. We know that Will Harris went down. We know that we're not going to throw Percy out there. He's not great in coverage. We know that Jeremy Reeves has not been great this year. He's been okay, but we'd like an upgrade. Kyle Duggar would definitely be an upgrade. And I think Washington likes these type of dog competitors, right? That's what they like. That's what they want. So Josh, again, he quote this one. He quote tweeted this one, I'll say. He writes, Kyle Duggar is the other player who is being mentioned for the Commanders, and he's a player who was linked to them when he was in the draft back in 2020. Before being taken 37th overall by the New England Patriots, the Commanders definitely needed safety help, and he would be a good fit with his size and athleticism, to be used in many ways, but he also just got an extension, so you're taking on another team's contract for a 29-year-old player. The Commanders could be sellers if they continue to lose games against the Chiefs and Seahawks. They should be all over risk-free player swap with the Bengals for Taylor Britt and stay away from trading for someone like Duggar and taking any other contracts. So, ESPN listed the Commanders to trade for Kyle Duggar. However, Josh from A to Z Sports, Josh Taylor, he says we shouldn't trade for him. I'm in agreement here. You don't want a 29-year-old player. You don't want to have to make a big trade for him. You don't want to have to take on that contract, right? You don't need immediate help at the safety position that bad. So I'm out on Kyle Duggar. Let's finish out with Taylor Britt and talk with him, okay? So, again, Taylor Britt, good movement skills, good cornerback, solid cornerback. He has experience. Played against Patrick Mahomes, played against played against the Chiefs wide receivers, everything that Andy Reid has thrown at him, and he's done a pretty good job in that role. And so I think he could be a good fit for Washington if you're just going to make a pick swap. No Igbenogany for Cam Taylor Britt, that's a good move. Because again, Igbenogany's playing 3 snaps, sometimes not even a snap at all, right? And you have Jonathan Jones who kind of fills in Igbenogany's spot as a bench player. You have Marshawn, you have Mikey, and those guys have sucked so far this year. Like, we need help. So I think the Taylor Britt move would be a solid move. Could the Washington Commanders make this low risk, risk-free type of move at the deadline? And again, the Kyle Duggar trade, I just wanted to read you who ESPN was suggesting for us to trade for. But I don't see them making any of those moves. Not the Taylor Britt one, not the Kyle Duggar one. I don't see them making any of those moves, but could they be behind closed doors trying to get one of these guys? Could they be trying to get one of these guys? We'll see. We'll find out at the trade deadline. But ESPN has suggested Kyle Duggar and Cam Taylor Britt for the Washington Commanders to trade for. Likely means nothing, but I did want to review these with you guys. So that's all I got for right now. You guys have a great rest of your day. NBA's back. Enjoy the NBA tonight because it's going to be really good. It was great last night. My Thunder picked up the win. Yes, I live in West Virginia, and I'm a Thunder fan, right? Go cry about it somewhere else. Champs, baby. First one. So, that's going to do it for me. Hey, it's Washington Commanders. As always, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Should we trade for Cam Taylor Britt and Kyle Duggar? Let me know in the comment section. Peace.